It is estimated there will be more than 400,000 Australians living with dementia. More than 1.5 million people are involved in the care of someone living with dementia.
Hi, I'm Karen. I've been caring for my husband for the last 7 years with dementia. He's actually early onset dementia because he's only 65 now.
Hi, I'm Sandi. I cared for my mother with dementia for 8 years.
Well, with me, I didn't actually pick up the signs because I was actually caring for my sick mother and my father when Simon first got diagnosed. He actually took himself to the doctors because he was forgetting passwords, couldn't remember names. I just put it down to absent-mindedness to start with, but he actually started the ball rolling.
With Mum, I just noticed that she was a bit slow at any task like washing or cooking. She loved cooking, but she started to miss out ingredients. Lots of just little things. But then one day she went to pay her bills and she couldn't remember how to do it. So she actually said to us, I need help, I can't do this. So then we started the ball rolling of having scans, etc.
Okay, when Simon first went to the doctors, they just do a memory test. What day is it, what year is it, who's the Prime Minister, count back from sevens, just general sort of knowledge type questions. And the doctor then will think, right, well there's a problem here, and they will refer you to a geriatrician. We had to wait 6 months to get into it. It was hard getting into one.
With Mum, we took her, she had a scan of the brain, and that showed that in the past she had had a very slight stroke, which she was not aware of. That then caused a hole in her brain. So then it just eventuated from there, and then we as well had all the memory tests, and then we went to a geriatrician as well, and then eventually you get a diagnosis, but it does take a few years, doesn't it? It's a very long process. It's really hard to say, is she forgetting her keys? Or is she forgetting to put that ingredient into the cooking? Or is it something more? It's really gradual. She struggled so much with the diagnosis, and of course she still wanted to drive, and they all become issues.
Well, to start with, Simon struggled with not being allowed to drive anymore. That was his biggest gripe. He was not happy about that at all. I think now he just struggles with so much. Dressing is a major problem, but he's actually gone from taking years at a slow pace to just now very advanced. So just eating, just cutting food up, just little things like that. It's just, he's actually struggling with to get a cup and actually get himself a glass of water from the tap. Because it's clear, he tends to go for a can of Coke because he might actually conceive how it's going into the glass, whereas the water, and he's very independent and he doesn't like any help whatsoever, which you've got to have patience. You just sit and think, just see how you go with it.
They need to feel secure. They always need you there. Never give up on them. Just always be there.
I think my biggest struggle is getting him to have a shower at the moment. I'm just lucky that his temperament's very calm, very quiet. Apart from that, he's been doing it for so long, it becomes part of life, and I don't think it's hard. I mean, I can't go out and just do some shopping for myself and have a girls' day out or do anything like that anymore, but you just got to have patience, and it's not going to last forever. So,
and Karen has the patience of a saint, I think. They can be so frustrating.
Oh, very frustrating, yes.
I put it down to very emotional, very difficult, very sad, very frustrating. We sat her down and said, Mum, we can't be here 7 days a week, unfortunately. So you're going to need to have someone come into the home to give you your tablets. But they forget, don't they? It's the problem, because you can tell them one thing and then they forget.
Instantly. With Simon, I've just got to be there. As long as I'm there for breakfast, lunch and tea, I can nip down and do the food shopping for about an hour. He's got an office that he's totally destroyed, and pulled every book out and every bit of paper known to man, and he just spends hours and hours in there, so I know he's safe and he's inside. So, but with him there's no other technical things. He can't answer a phone or do anything like that, so I've just got to be there. That's the main thing.
The phone, that's a big issue, isn't it? Because Mum no longer knew how to dial a phone, but she could pick it up. But then that became an issue, as in we had so many people ringing for donations and scammers, and she was clever enough to go and get her card and give them the details, unfortunately, and we could not cut the phone off because then we couldn't contact her. When she went into care, she wanted so desperately to get out that her mind, and I found that so incredible, remembered our phone numbers, and we had put a phone in her room so we could ring her, but she was ringing us 20 times a day because she didn't know where she was and she wanted to come home. So I found that incredible, that her fear of being where she was took over the not knowing of how to use a phone, and by some miracle she was dialing our numbers continually to come and get her. Or I'd walk out the front door or go back to the pharmacy to get her tablets, and then she'd say, "Oh, I haven't seen you for months." That's really hard, that's really frustrating, because then I used to think, oh, she thinks that I don't care about her. But of course we did. And then you start to worry, you know, who they will let in their home, etc. That is a huge thing.
Oh yes, I've had that. Was only recently a gentleman knocks on the door, and I wasn't quick enough to get to the door, and I got there and all I could hear Simon was like, "Come on in." So, racing over there. No, it's okay, no. We're not interested in solar panels, thank you. And I sort of had to direct him off, and I'm thinking, you just don't know who they're going to let in the door.
They definitely need a routine, don't they?
Yeah.
Take them out of their environment.
That's the hardest. That's hard.
Yes. Like Simon is
He's all right
so much
if
better
there's-
in his own home.
And with small people, a small amount of people. You take him where there's over a dozen people, and he's all right for about an hour, then he starts pacing, and I know straight away it's time to leave.
They become, I think, the noise,
Too many conversations, can't work out what's going on.
and they can't join in.
No.
They lose that ability
Yes.
to communicate,
Communicate.
don't they, of what to say. I think for them everything is so frightening.
To start with, the mood. I ended up getting him on antidepressants because he just couldn't handle that. He couldn't remember passwords and he couldn't remember names or people, so he found it very difficult. But that seems to have mellowed as the memories got worse, actually, so yeah.
I think they get so frustrated.
Yes.
But then, like Mum would say, oh, would that doctor, I don't think that doctor understood, or I don't think you understood the repetitive side of it. You have to be so patient, don't you? Karen is very patient with Simon, and I think that I was patient with Mum
It's a
too.
disease. It's not their fault. They can't help it.
You think they don't know you, they do know you. They know that you are in some form attached to them, that you care for them, that you love them. Mum used to light up when we walked into a room. She may not have known my name, but her face was always smiling. They know.
They know.
So I would always say to anybody, don't ever give up. Treat someone how you would like to be treated. She would always say, there's something wrong with my head.
Yeah, I get that. Did I get hit in the head? Did something happen to my head? And I say, no. I just say, it's hereditary, your dad had it. It's nothing you can do, you've just got a memory problem. Oh, okay. Normally mornings are not too bad, but the sundowners, sort of after tea,
that's terrible.
sort of 6:30, 7 onwards, that's when he's off in the office. But he'll just walk past and he'll just stare. And the stare's horrible, it's a horrible stare. Who are you? What are you doing there type thing? That's actually getting a lot worse at the moment, sundowners.
The sundowners
Yeah.
is terrible, isn't it?
In his mind, he's got nothing wrong with him. He says,
Yes.
I'm fine, I can do that. I can do that on my own, I don't need any help. But he does, he needs it. But
And I find that they withdraw, don't
Oh,
they?
he withdraws. He will definitely withdraw with that.
Yeah, like Mum would just, in the end, if there was a few people, like it was just too much, she just withdrew. Yeah. But I just think, my God, what if it happened to me?
Yeah.
You know, it's so scary.
The first thing is to find a provider. Geriatricians are very good because they sort of stem you into the right way to go, which I went with KompleteCare. Advice for anybody else would be use the services. Don't leave it too long before you ask for help, because you really do need it. And it's out there, it's all out there. But just make sure you get all your financial situations under control, and that you joint everything, that you can have control over everything. But little things like electricity, gas, telephone, if they're in your husband's name or partner's name, and you're just starting out, while they're still cognitive enough, get them in joint names, get everything in joint names, because that can become very difficult as time goes by and the memory goes. So that's the main thing. But no, definitely find a provider and take the help.
Yes, I think so too. That definitely, isn't it? To be able to let go. And I was probably very similar to Karen, that I had a real trust issue. It's like sending your child to kindy, to school. Is someone else going to look after her as much? It is accepting the help, isn't it?
It's accepting it, I think, more so than anything else, because you feel that you can do it and you're just burdening it out to somebody else to do. But get to a doctor early, don't leave it too long. Then get all the paperwork for Centrelink that you have to do, because you've either got NDIS if it's under 65, or you've got
the ACAT,
ACAT after. Get all that done. There's lots of dementia pages on Facebook. They are brilliant.
They are. The dementia, I've actually learned so much.
But even if it's a page you want to vent on, you know, you're just having a bad day, they're there for you.
It's a horrible, horrible disease. Horrible.
Yeah, they put things in strange places and find things everywhere. I've looked in the fridge for Simon's puffer or his wallet. Becomes normal though. After a while, it just seems to be quite normal.
And you do have to have a laugh. Everyone's human. You have to have a laugh. That's the only way you can really get through, isn't it?